Issue 205. To my surprise, Snively actually catches Eggman escaping the cell right when he does so, which makes sense since he was close enough to him to hear the cell opening. Still stupid that he escaped, by the way. After Eggman starts running off despite being in a straitjacket, Snively calls out for help from the Dark Legion and Ninja, ordering them to report to where he is. He runs into the Iron King, and the Iron King is paranoid enough to just assume Snively betrayed him when he told him Eggman escaped. Never mind the fact that Snively must have wanted Eggman in that cell to begin with, and must have told him the news in a panicked voice. But considering how obviously familiar Snively is being with his wife, it makes sense that he'd be overly paranoid of him. But it shouldn't include assuming Snively's still on Eggman's side. And also, if the Iron Queen wants to get rid of the Iron King, why hasn't she killed him in his sleep already? For some reason, Eggman has a bunch of wires and machinery wrapped around one of his arms, reminding me of when he was an android. And as I wonder how the hell he got his arms free of the straitjacket, he leads with an airship with a vendetta against Sonic. Then we see Bunny, who's in the Tommy Turtle Memorial Hospital instead of Freedom HQ, like she was brought to last issue, because they can't keep the story straight for 2 seconds. But what's the point of bringing her there if she was just exhausted? I guess he just wanted to be sure. Dr. Quack says that Bunny needs an emergency supply of electrolytes and constant supervision throughout the night, even though she was just tired. Con lampshades that he should have warned her about the Iron Queen and apologizes, and Bunny cheerfully dismisses that as just fine too, instead of being annoyed with him in the slightest for his ridiculous idiocy, because Bunny's not allowed to do anything flawed. It would have been interesting if they made her a main character flaw her temper, instead of making that Con thing way later. Instead, name a single flaw that Bunny has. Dr. Quack complains about the fact that Con and Sonic left to get flowers for Bunny because Sonic's a disaster magnet, and after Con acknowledges that he doesn't deserve such easy forgiveness for his mistake, Nicole shows up and says unhappily that she's detected a large threat around. Con is forbidden to leave because the doctor wants him to rest after he was brainwashed, even though there was really no indication that he was made exhausted just like Bunny was. Which is weird because the Iron Queen specifically said that Bunny's problem was that she had no battery because she was only half robot. So shouldn't the same life force draining have happened to Con? If not, the comic broke a rule it just established issues ago. Meanwhile, Eggman says amusingly, Knothole wasn't under that tree either, having regressed to the early memories of when he was looking for Knothole. Did I mention I love the Eggman having a breakdown plot? Because I do, especially someone who loves psychology. For some bizarre reason, Eggman takes a bit to recognize Sonic, even though his whole motivation right now is that he's obsessively trying to kill him. You'd think if anything he'd recognize him if no one else. Sonic dodges the missiles as Eggman exclaims that he's going to be a TV star. And while the Iron Queen is rallying up the troops, she's told that SBO failed his mission to steal the Master Emerald and has been recalled to the Shinobi clan. The Iron Queen tells her subordinate to return to the Dragon Kingdom and keep the other houses in line, tells Dimitri to be in charge of the defenses while she and Snively are gone, and then Dimitri returns to his lab, leaving Lee and Duh in charge right away. Tails shows up, and Sonic tells him that he's been running in the same circle for 5 minutes now, and asks Tails cheerfully to disable the guns, lampshading that Eggman might not even see him. As Tails shuts down the whole thing, tampering with it, he lampshades that Sonic could have trashed it no problem. It's revealed that Sonic has been going easy on Eggman out of pity. I like how, again, Sonic is lampshading that it's stupid of him to feel bad for someone like Eggman. Oddly enough, Tails is the one to say that Eggman doesn't deserve pity, when normally I'd expect the naive little kid to be the one pitying him while Sonic doesn't. So that was weird. Tails then puts his hand on his shoulder and humors Sonic, who has an expression that hammers home how sweet this kind of brotherly moment is. Sonic decides that the civil thing to do is to arrest Eggman because leaving him locked up with the Iron Dominion would be too cruel. Wouldn't it just be dangerous to the city to have Eggman in it locked up or not? Especially since he escaped his last cell somehow. After Sonic says kinda condescendingly that he can come with him so they can have another fight later, as if Eggman just wants a fight and not to kill him, Eggman punches Sonic and then starts laughing hysterically at how he finally succeeded in doing so after his last failed attempt. Sonic tells Tails to bring Eggman home, and while calling him Little Bro, he says that he's got the hard job, as he faces the Dark Legion and Iron Queen. In the next story, Leah and Duh in the Dark Legion barracks thinks about how hungry for power she is, and then she remembers being in the Twilight Cage with Kragok many years ago. I love that a text blurb calls the Twilight Zone the Twilight Cage as a nickname. Like, even the person writing this knows that it's a better name. Krakow asks Leanda if she's fine with killing him like her stepmother because he's biologically related to her. Leanda says that Moritori was the true father to her, and Krakow tells her that the weapon he made for her, because he's an inventor apparently, only gives her one shot. After she makes her father vanish, she gets hurt by the invention backfiring on her. Krakow explains that there was a need for leadership, and he had to step up as the sole Grandmaster while she was healing. He makes an excuse that to promote her now that she's woken up would be needlessly confusing. Leanda is naturally disappointed and never trusted him again, and as Dimitri calls her over to him in the lab, she thinks about how determined she is to become the new boss. Is she gonna try and kill him? I hope she fails at that. Dimitri's a much better person than she is. So, that was totally pointless. This issue was by Ian Flynn. In the first story, we deal with the consequences of Eggman breaking out of his cell and somehow getting free of his straitjacket to go after Sonic in a tortoise-shaped missile-shooting airship. As Sonic still feels sorry for him in his breakdown, he defeats him and then tells Tails to bring him to a jail at home much closer to his friends and family because that makes perfect sense. And the Air Dominion comes after him at the end. That's pretty much it. Again, I have to question why Khan isn't said to have been exhausted just like Bunny is when he went through the same thing. He doesn't have a battery, does he? Not much to talk about with this one otherwise. And the second story is totally pointless. We know that Leanda wants to be Grandmaster, and we know that she killed her father. The only new things we learn are the way she did that, and the reason why Krakow took the leadership without her being on equal rank with him. Also, Krakow's an inventor, apparently.